I'm outside of the grocery store right now. It took me about 20 minutes to get here, and main reason I'm making this video is I need to get ingredients to make some burritos. I'm gonna make some beef and rice burritos, and it's not really Sri Lankan cooking, but that's not what I need for my requirement. Like, what I need to do for my requirement is demonstrate, like, I know how to dice, like, certain things, so I'm gonna demonstrate I know how to dice beef top sirloin. So that's the main reason I'm doing this dish. And I'm planning to spend under $40 because I'm meal prepping for today and for my lunch tomorrow. So I think like less than $20, and it's probably gonna be a little bit more than 2 meals. If I'm lucky, I could probably squeeze another lunch for Tuesday. So it's gonna be like, my budget is below $40. Ideally around like 35, and then I'm gonna meal prep for at least lunch for today and lunch for tomorrow, and then hopefully I can squeeze out another lunch. But yeah, I'm gonna go into the store. What I'm gonna get is like a pound of beef top sirloin steak, and if the steak's too big, I might get some fillets. And then I'm gonna get some sesame oil, sesame seeds. I'm gonna get some sriracha sauce, and I'm gonna get some sriracha sauce, sesame oil, sesame seed, beef tops. I'm probably gonna need some other stuff, but you know, I have most of the things at home. But yeah, I'm just gonna get what I need for the recipe, and yeah, and then I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna talk about how to, like, proper food hygiene, how to keep the steaks from like cross-contaminating, because raw meat has a bacteria in it, like in the blood, and that can get you really sick if you don't prepare it properly. So you don't want to cross-contaminate, and I'll talk about how to store your meats and all that. So yeah. So I'm back from the store now. I got all my ingredients for my burritos. I got beef, my sauces, some seasonings. I thought I had leftover rice, but since I'm not, I'm gonna use some of these. And I have some cilantro. My total came to about $35, but I already have most of the ingredients at home, so I think it's fine. And I'm meal prepping for 2 days, so I'm meal prepping for 3 days really, so that's less than $20 per meal. I think that's pretty good. And I have some sriracha sauce that I'm gonna use, and I have some Greek yogurt that I'm also gonna use. But yeah. And then when it comes to food hygiene with meat, because it has bacteria in the blood, if you're not gonna use it straight away and you wanna put it in the fridge, you wanna put it in the bottom of your fridge, or else, like, you don't want the juices to contaminate anything else because they have deadly bacteria. Or if you're not using it for a while, you want to put it in the bottom of your freezer, and the same concept applies. Now, usually when you're working with foods and meats, you want to cut your vegetables first, so that way you don't contaminate it with any of the juices. So I have a metal cutting board here. You can use wood. I don't recommend plastics because you don't want microplastics getting in your food. But the nice thing about metal over wood is it's easier to clean, and since it has no pores, the juice won't get caught up in there, so it just makes it easier to clean. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up the green onion and the cilantro. I'm gonna put it in different bowls, and then I'm gonna clean and wash my hands, and then I'm gonna cut up the top sirloin steak. Steak was too big, so I just got some fillets. It's the same thing, it's just it doesn't have the shoulder. But yeah, I'm gonna start now. Okay, first thing I'm making is chopping up these green onions. First step is you want to rinse them, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it to the sink. I'm gonna rinse my green onions. Can't really see. Oh shoot. Rinsing my green onions. And then what you want to do is you want to look for like wilted stems, and then you want to tear them off. Like this one has, or to be honest, I don't even think any of these, this one has a wilted stem right here. So This one right here, for example, it has a wilted stem, so I'm just gonna take it off, throw it away. Yeah, and this one right here, for example, has a wilted stem, so I'm gonna take it off, throw it away. Yeah, all the rest of them look pretty good for the most part, so I'm just gonna chop them up. Yeah, so now I'm gonna take it over here to the cutting board. Now I'm gonna chop them up. So I'm gonna take my handful. I'm gonna line them up. Or I guess I could chop them up individually. You're gonna wanna take off the root, set that aside, and then you can just start chopping. You wanna chop at an angle, and make sure when you do cut, you wanna like use your knuckles as, I can't really show you, wanna use your knuckles as a guide. And then you just start chopping. And then you have your spring onions, and they're ready to go. So then I'm just gonna leave it to the side, and I'm gonna do the same for the rest, except this time I'm gonna do it all at once. I'm gonna kind of chop off all the stems at the same time, and I'm gonna chop off the other end, kind of, because you want to get the ends even, so I'm gonna chop off the ends. And now I'm just gonna chop them all up. At an angle. And there you go, that's how you chop green onion. Now I have it all nicely chopped up, and I'm gonna put it aside into my bowl. Okay, here's my cilantro. I'm gonna use this for the rice. I don't need that much, so I'm gonna take about half, and I'm gonna put the rest away into my fridge. But for cilantro, the best way to prepare it is you don't want to use like the stem. So you kind of just want to take it, and you get kind of like below the stem, and you can kind of just twist it off, and then now you can just throw the rest away, because you don't really want to use a stem. And when I was doing research, you don't really have to, I didn't see anything about washing it, but like, I don't know, I always wash my veggies, so I'm just gonna give it a quick rinse. Okay, now that's wet, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna just chop it real quick. It doesn't really matter how you chop it. You could like kind of fold it up, but since it's kind of short, I'm just gonna go straight. And you don't want to apply too much pressure. You kind of just want to chop it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try and like remove the stem. So just gonna chop it and just get it nice and fine. Because I'm gonna mix this with my rice. Yeah, so now it's nice and finely grinded, and this is about the consistency you want it at. So I'm gonna scoop it up, put it with my bowl of like herbs and stuff, and I'm gonna just save it for later, because up next I'm gonna cut the beef. So I'm gonna save my cilantro and I'm gonna prepare the beef. All right, next is my garlic. So I already had it peeled. And then what you want to do is you just want to squash it with a knife and then dice it finely. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, now it's all squished, and now that's nice and squished, I'm just gonna finely chop it. I mean, because it's so small, it's kind of hard to hold, so you just kind of want to chop it. And then now, for the most part, it's nicely chopped. As a nice dice. It's roughly the same size, each grain. So now I'm gonna take the garlic and I'm gonna put it in the plate with the other veggies. Or it's not really a veggie, but whatever. I'll call it what I want. Just gonna scoop it up. And yeah. Yeah, that's it for now. So now I'm not recording. I got my beef. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open it up, because it's in the plastic right now. I'm gonna rinse away all the blood, and then I'm gonna cut against the grain into some thin strips. And then I'm gonna put it in this bowl and put my marinade in, and yeah. So I'm gonna open. I'm just gonna clean out my sink real quick. Just gonna rinse out. And you don't want to, like, if you have a cut on your hand or anything, you don't want to, like, you want to get gloves, because you don't want that blood with the bacteria to go into your body. So you're just gonna rinse the meat, get all the blood out. So, got one meat there, and I'll leave the other meat inside. So now, you want to cut against the grain. I'm trying to, okay, I see the grain's kind of going this way, so I'm gonna cut against it. I'm gonna try and get some nice long strips. Actually, I'm not exactly sure which way. I think the grain's going this way. So I'm gonna cut against the grain this way. That's one slice done. I'm gonna this piece is a little thick, but you know what, that's all right. Yeah. Okay, this one I kind of messed up. I didn't really cut too well. It kind of separated, but you know what? You know, I'm learning. I'll get better. Okay, so now I got my strips. I'm just gonna scoop it up, throw it in my bowl. Now I'm gonna get the other one. Now, I see the grains kind of going this way. So I'm gonna cut against it. I'm kind of getting a little bit better because I'm already cutting thinner slices, and I'm noticing I kind of have to kind of just not saw necessarily, but just kind of go straight and down, like trying to apply leverage, because now I'm getting some nice like thin pieces, or thinner than the other ones, like because the other ones are like fairly thick. And I notice I have to hold the top too, and then it kind of collapses together, which makes it easier for me to yeah, now I'm getting some nice thin pieces. So now I've cut up all my beef. So now I'm gonna thoroughly kind of rinse my knife, because you don't want to cross contaminate anything. So I'm gonna wash my hands, and I know that's kind of a waste, but you know, I'd rather wash twice and just be safe. Get my knife, just rinse it off. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put soap, so I'm gonna double check on that in a sec. But I know I should definitely use soap on here. Give it a nice little. Let me get some soap. Give it a nice little scrub. I'm just gonna throw away like the beef and stuff real quick. Yeah, so now I'm gonna wash my hands again, and then now I'm gonna marinate my steak. I've rinsed my board and everything, and yeah. Just want to add a bit correction. You are supposed to wash the knife with soap too. So just make sure you give it a nice scrub. You want to be careful not to cut yourself though, but make sure to scrub your knife. Like, I wouldn't go towards the blade, I would go away from the blade and kind of just scrub it. Give it a little rinse, and then after scrubbing it, and then dry it. I'm just gonna rinse the other side of my board just for fun, but yeah. So I just marinated the meat. I marinated it in sesame oil, brown sugar, minced garlic, sesame seeds, green onions, and soy sauce, so it smells really nice. And I have my greens, and I'm gonna add them in when it's closer to done cooking. But now I'm gonna take it outside and I'm gonna cook the meat. Here's the beef. I cooked it on a pan, and I kept on cooking it until the sauce kind of evaporated for the most part, until like the sauce thickened. And yeah, I used chopsticks to help flip the beef because using that spatula was kind of hard. And now I'm gonna cook the rice, and then I'm gonna put it all up in a burrito.